Karina Haythorpe, Federal President of the Australian Education Union. I'm joined by Cresta Richardson, President of the Queensland Teachers Union. Today is an extraordinary day for public schools across the nation. The Albanese government and the Christopher government have just announced that they've signed a heads of agreement which will deliver $2.8 billion of funding to Queensland schools. This is the final agreement that we've all been waiting for. It's the agreement now that says that every school across Australia is on a path to full funding. It's an extraordinary day for our members, for principals, for teachers, and for communities across the nation. But also I think it's a clear demonstration of what happens when governments prioritise public education and when they show that this can be above politics. We've had the Albanese government and the Christopher government working together in a way now that has ensured that public schools in Queensland will be fully funded. So our call out is to Peter Dutton. So far he's been absolutely silent on this issue. We have a one-line sentence in January that said he would match funding for the previous agreements, but there's been crickets since all of the heads of agreements have been signed with state and territory governments. So to Peter Dutton, what are you going to do now? Are you going to back in full funding, and will you commit to the full 25% Commonwealth share that we know is needed for public schools across the nation? Cresta.
Good morning, Cresta Richardson, CRESTA, President of the Queensland Teachers Union. What a day, such a contrast. In the US, we've got public state school funding and departments being cut left, right and centre. And here in Australia, we've got a hallmark day that talks about landmark funding in our state schools in Queensland, and it's a deal of bipartisanship between the Christopher government, state government and the Albanese federal government. I must admit, I don't think it's a day I didn't think would ever come. This is a fantastic day. I've got friends who are teachers and school leaders in our schools. They go to school today knowing that this funding will make a difference in our schools. In Queensland, we're largely decentralised as a state. We have a large metro region area, but we have regional, rural, remote and isolated communities, and our members are in every single one of those schools. This money will make a difference to teachers, school leaders and our students. It will provide additional literacy and numeracy support. It will provide additional guidance officers, smaller class sizes, behavioural experts and supporters for both our students and their families and our teachers and school leaders. You know, in Queensland, we have some issues with workload. It's crippling. Teacher shortages as well as occupational violence, but this money will go some way to support resourcing to manage some of these issues. You know, we really want to attract and retain more teachers in Queensland. It's a great profession and I really want to congratulate the governments on reaching this agreement today.
Thanks. We're happy to take questions.
Private schools continue to get a huge share of the Commonwealth funding. What would you like to see done next to address some of that inequality?
Well, I think everyone in Australia knows that all private schools are at or above the schooling resource standard. What our campaign has been about is about getting public schools actually to the standard, because only 1.3% of public schools in Australia have actually been at that standard. So the issue of private school funding is a matter for governments, not for us.
Money is important, but it's not everything. How can we be reassured that the money will be spent well to improve student outcomes, which is ultimately what it's for?
Australia went through, sorry, let me do that one again for you. The Australian education system went through a 12-month review to enact the current Better School Funding Agreement, which will be tied to this funding. That review took submissions from teachers, from principals, from communities right across Australia, and it was the first time that we had that conversation about what sort of reforms actually are needed to fix our system. So we're very confident that now that this funding, guaranteed funding, is going to roll in year after year, that teachers and principals will have the funding that they need to bring in those reforms.
Sorry. All good.
All good? Yeah? All right. Thanks very much, everyone.